fly through the air with the greatest of ease, and little lammy dog on your flying trapeze.
All right, so I've decided to try out one of my very favorite art forms ever, especially my favorite to sit back and relax to, which is the vlog. So this video, you'll just be kind of following me on as I go about my morning. This morning is definitely a little bit of an exception compared to the rest of my mornings. I normally have class on this day, but my very first class, which starts at 11, meaning I usually have to leave at around 9 in the morning to get to the city on time because I commute. That class ended up being canceled because for our last presentation, which was due last week, we did it all over video. So today the professors just really wanted us to watch the videos, give some peer feedback, and I decided to try and watercolor while I was watching all of these presentations. Usually on the days where I have off, I end up watching my child, my dog, because she is a border collie and she very much needs attention all the time. So most of mine and my husband's mornings are, well, really any of her waking time, which we put her down for a nap in the middle of the day, but any of her waking time is pretty much dedicated to playing with her, making sure she's happy and stimulated and content, because if you've never had a working dog before, they're definitely not like your normal type of dog. And I don't mean to say that in a she's so special type of way, but she is really special. She needs to be stimulated all the time. You know, they were bred specifically for constantly working and constantly going. They can't really settle, and they definitely can't settle themselves unless they are bone tired. So that's what most of our time ends up being. Yeah. See, make sure that's
doing those cute things.
I'm doing cute things. As you've seen through a couple of the different clips here, I set up my morning, I brewed myself some coffee, and then I took everything upstairs. I had a little bowl of food for myself as well from yesterday's leftovers. And the book that I was originally going to watercolor in, that little nice white binder, which I just got from Etsy. I actually thought my order was lost in the mail, but the seller was super, super kind, and I was just kind of waiting for it, and they let me know that it was just in the shipper's hands, but it ended up being delivered. So I was going to try and watercolor in that because you can kind of see it's this very, very nice old feeling paper. So I wanted to see if I felt inspired by that, do some watercolor in it while I'm listening to all my classmates. But my husband ended up calling me, and then I just kind of grabbed the first thing in front of me, which was this super tiny, I think it's Fabriano cold press water paper. It's just one of the little super tiny ones. I think they're only a few bucks at any of the art stores that are near you. And I started going to town. I just kind of let myself draw whatever I wanted to draw. This painting that I ended up doing was actually reminiscent of one I had done for my husband a few months back. That he ended up actually incorporating into the graphic novel that he's creating. So if you haven't heard of Bellringer, definitely check them out on Instagram. Give him a little plug right here.
I think it's just because she's always listening.
Yeah, she's always listening.
And the crevices. Oh, I'm driving down Midland Way. Ooh, big factory. Ooh.
Oh my god. This scene is going to be coming up in one of his works. He has a couple of different lines through the same story out right now. So I'm not sure which one this is going to end up being in, but it's going to be in one of them, he's told me. So I remembered kind of how I did that, and whatever I ended up drawing him the first time was so much better than this one. But as just a quick little sketch, I'm super proud of it. Definitely using a different watercolor palette than I did before. I think the first palette I just did in pencil, and there was some purple in there. I don't know if it was watercolor or if it was colored pencil, ink. I have no clue, but here I'm using watercolor and I'm using brown, so definitely not purple. All of the watercolors that I have been using lately are from Beam Paints, which if you haven't heard of them before, they're a really cool brand. They have a really interesting message that I personally feel ascribed to. And my travel watercolor brush that you can kind of see me unscrewing in the beginning is also from them. So it's actually a really nice brush. It picks up the watercolor super well. It has a really nice unscrewing noise, which as a fan of ASMR, I very much enjoy. And I have these cute little pots, which you can also see in one of the earlier clips, that I got handmade from an artist through one of the companies we like to visit near us. Their name is Waldo's & Company. They're located in Gettysburg. My husband just did a workshop with them, oh god, last Friday? Yeah, at the time of posting this video, it's going to be last Friday. And while I was there, I picked up these two little pots that end up fitting into each other super perfectly. Like the bigger one holds the watercolor, while the smaller one I used to hold just a little bit of water, and it ends up being the perfect size for me to dip the brush in and kind of dribble it off the sides. So yeah, otherwise I'm going to stop talking and just let you enjoy listening to me either talk to my husband or watching me do watercolor and listening to random music that I put over. But I don't have to leave until like noon, so I'm just kind of chilling. Yeah. It feels very weird because I'm like so relaxed, but I know that I'm normally in class. It's a very odd feeling. Oh, I should also mention, that part where I said that I was going to go to class, yeah, I ended up only going to one of my classes. I went to two. I did go to two classes, 2 out of my 3. I usually have 4, but like I said, the first one was canceled. I ended up skipping my last class. I couldn't make it. I thought the coffee was going to pump me up for the day and ended up pumping me up a little bit too much, and I could not focus on a single thing that any of my professors were saying. I just took the L on that one. But I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope that my voiceover doesn't sound absolutely terrible. This was just kind of a little tester to see if I even liked making these types of videos, so we'll see if I end up continuing with this. Alright, bye!